Bo diarrhea all over the wall. So
I'm leaving that in, by the way. That's the cold open.
I can't help thinking, somewhere in the universe, there has to be something better than man. Has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ascension To Ten.
all right. That was a nice just shut off. No fade.
And it's done. Well, it was
we are.
super laggy for me, so I didn't want to. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Great.
Just typical technology
Can't have nice
issues.
things here.
Can we
can't
just have
nice
one
things.
show where it just works for us? Obviously, everything that the audience hears and sees, it's
Yeah, it just
polished
looks great.
and everything, but real time, from our perspective, this is barely working every single time.
Every time. Oh, Jad.
All right, what's popping, baby?
Hey, we have a few things from last week I just wanted to address at the
Did
top
you
of
forget
the
some
show.
emails and stuff?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. One. Okay. So we talked about barbecue ribs last episode, and
Oh my God, am I going to live this down?
blew
This
my
is like
mind.
a magnet story 2.0 here for me. All I said was I've
Dad,
only had
you-
Applebee's riblets, which I think counts. Does it not count?
Yeah, but
Yes.
you live in Nashville, Tennessee. Don't they have barbecue there? You've never.
I didn't know I had homework.
Well, the funny thing was, I made ribs after we did the recording, and I
Yeah.
didn't think about it. But so
Yeah.
I reached out to Mark via email to make sure this was true, because I was like, I have to authenticate this.
Yeah.
And he said, thinking back, unless he ate it at a restaurant, he's never had real ribs. So it was confirmed. You have never had real barbecue ribs.
Wow. Well, I'm telling no lies around here.
No, telling
the
lies.
truth.
Hey, that was a full disclosure. It was true. So
Wow, you really had to get to the bottom of that.
kudos
Didn't
to you. Oh man, it was eating at me after I watched the recording again, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, then
Anyways.
you got Bryan in the middle of it. Brian's all like, "Oh, I don't even know if I can talk to you anymore." Kind of whatever he said. I don't even remember what he said. He's never coming back on the show because of the ribs.
He just unfriended you for real life.
I guess. My goodness.
And the one other thing that I wanted to give update on or correction is our friend Taylor did correct us that the island, I mentioned that Michael Bay did it and it had elements of Logan's Run. Well, that's actually based on a book called The Island. So
okay.
It was a book written by Aldous Huxley back in the 60s. So
Okay.
it actually
Taylor.
is not connected. Yeah, shout out to Taylor. Those aren't connected, though it kind of had similar feeling to it. So,
well, the funny thing is, when I was talking about the movie that I was thinking about, you said, "Oh, that sounds like The Island," and I'm like, "Nah." And then I don't know, later that night or something, it turns out that it was The Island that I was thinking of, and then
good.
So,
all right, cool.
So it's full circle there.
Yeah, but those were the two things I wanted to get corrected off the bat.
Top of the show corrections. Nice.
Check.
I don't know if you saw this. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. Okay, so what happened? We're back.
We had a malfunct. Just fell apart. Literally just threw it up for the night. Just shut everything down. Said, screw it. Talk to you later.
That was a hard quit. That was just there really wasn't even much thought to it. It was just,
No.
we texted each other, you want to just quit? Yep.
Yes.
I'm going to come back to that too. So
Okay.
if this falls apart again, I'm going to come back to this idea of quitting.
Great.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
I think I was in the process of saying that I wanted to bring up a recent YouTube comment on our episode called Annoying Buzz.
Right.
We had a comment from one of your brothers saying that,
Yes.
like your dad, he also thought that our sensor sound was just some random ass noise.
Yeah.
Unassociated. And he also found it annoying.
Yeah.
So now we did call for action, right? We did say write in, is this annoying? And so far,
Yep.
we have a write in. It's annoying. I don't know.
I've heard
if that's
from,
enough data or not.
I've heard from 3 or 4 people
Okay.
that have it's mixed 50-50.
Mm.
They don't like it. Do they like
Oh
it?
no.
My sister also doesn't like it.
Oh no.
So it must be my whole family.
We can make an edit specifically to the Robbins family, and it has some other thing is,
Sure.
what would we change it to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we just do one episode without it. I don't know.
Just with just all out swearing.
Let it fly, man.
Let it fly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or we could well, we're gonna have to workshop this, I think. Too much to decide in this moment. I think we need more data though. I think if we get
do we need to change the sound? Should we do
we
the
could change the
drum?
pitch. We could change the pitch, or
Yeah.
how about this? How about we need more data, I think. So if we get a total of 15 comments,
good.
either email or a collection of comments,
You know what? Yeah.
or
we'll throw it up.
reviews.
We'll get it on the
will,
socials because I
okay,
had
or
one
socials,
thing
yeah.
from our I threw it up on ours. I did have I put something up on our socials talking
Okay.
about your barbecue.
Bois
and
at
it was,
Ascension2Ten.com.
Yeah, and it was, can you believe the fact that Jad has only had riblets? Like, can you believe how blown away are you? And
Okay.
56% of people said they totally believe or not surprised by the fact
okay.
that riblets is
Okay. It's good to know that people know me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Is this 50%, 56% of like 3 people that
No, there's 9. There's 9
oh,
people. Yeah.
Ooh wee. Okay.
Yeah. So
Socials are popping off.
yeah. So watch out. Like this
All right.
We're getting the heartbeat of,
Okay.
getting a
So how about
feeling.
this then? Leveraging our massive social media platform.
Yes.
If we get a total of 15 votes, annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that these should be the options. Annoying, get rid of it. Annoying, change it to something else. Love it, keep it. Don't care.
Don't care.
And then whatever wins, we'll honor.
We'll go. That sounds
are
fair.
we committing to
You
this?
throw it up to the people.
But the
People's
important
Choice
thing is,
Award here.
if there are not 15 comments or votes, then scrubbed stays as is.
Yeah, we're just gonna turn up
So-
the volume on those bleeps.
Yeah,
So you have to
I
listen
mean,
to it more.
I'm sorry to the people that find it annoying. I am sorry. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
First of
thank
all,
you.
thank you for just trudging through it, even though you hate the sound. In some episodes, we have a lot of those.
Mhm.
But we got to leave it up to the people, I think, at this point. The loyal audience. So that was what I was in the middle of bringing up when we had major malfunctions last time.
Yes, it was such a disaster. I was about ready to throw the computer across the room. So
Yeah. So, what's next on the docket here on the list?
Bo diarrhea all over the wall. So
I'm leaving that in, by the way. That's the cold open.
So, my typical day story is from this week. I swap cars with my wife because I commute downtown one day a week, and she works from home usually every day. This week she was going into the office the next day, so we swap cars, swap keys, all that stuff. So Tuesday I took her car. Wednesday she's taking the car. She's leaving. I stay at home with my daughter because she goes to kindergarten now, so she doesn't have to be at school as early. So we wait before we go, and it's 20 minutes before school starts, and I go to our little cabinet to grab the keys because that's where we keep our keys. All the keys are gone, no keys. So I don't have a car, and I call my wife, and I'm like, "Hey, like, where are you at? Like, you took both keys. What can we do? How am I going to get our daughter to school?" And she's like, "Well, I'm just about to daycare to drop our son off. I'll turn around right after I drop him off, and I'll let you know like how close I am or what the GPS says." GPS says she's going to get there after school officially starts. So 5 minutes after school starts. And I'm thinking, crap, like, we're going to be late for school. How am I supposed to get to school? I have this option of, do I like drop everything right now, throw her breakfast in a bowl, run her to school on a stroller, or do I wait, just be late that day? I'm like weighing these options, and in my head I'm thinking, it's like 2 weeks into school, do you really want your kid to be late for it? So I make the choice that I'm throwing her in the stroller, and it's 1.6 miles away, and I've got 15 minutes to get there. So I'm running, and I'm running fast.
Okay.
So
Right.
I ran a mile in 9 minutes and 32 seconds, which is pretty good with a stroller.
Hell yeah.
But the last 0.6 miles was all uphill. The first mile was downhill. So we're running, and I'm just dying, and I'm sweating. And my daughter's eating breakfast, so she has this bowl. She has the audacity to hand me the cup when she's done, and just hands it like this behind her, like, "Hey, Dad, take my bowl. I'm done." And so I'm running there, and it's right at the time that school closes. There's the lady that holds the door to let everybody in. I'm like, wait, don't close the door. And we run up there, and I'm like out of breath. I'm like, wait. So we get to the stairs, and then like Everly goes up there, and I'm trying to explain what happens, and they're like, the lady's laughing at me because it's so ridiculous. I'm soaked in sweat. I've been running, and she gets there right on time. Somehow we make it. And then Kendra happens to show up like 2 minutes later, pick me up and take me back. But then, so we made it, which was great, except for the fact that like I physically had to destroy myself for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it was. So afterwards, like, my wife is like, "So what did you think of Dad pushing or having to run you?" And she's like, "Oh, that was fun, but he was really sweaty." And I was like, "Thanks. Love you too." So
Nice.
that was my typical day for this week.
It sounds to me like the FFC has conditioned you to the point where that may not have been physically possible.
That's right. Hey, it all paid off. Yeah,
that's
this
right.
was just a test.
Nice.
So yeah,
it's good
made
that that's been, counting towards something.
Yeah.
Something tangible, right?
Yeah, that's right. Did you want to talk about FFC? Or lack thereof?
Yeah, kind of, actually, because I just hinted on what I wanted to come back to. So
okay.
Yes. I feel like I have. How do I want to say this?
You feel like you keep taking before pictures, but you're not taking an after?
I feel like I've given up And I've either quit, but I haven't given up, or I've given up, but I haven't quit yet.
Okay.
It's been bad, man. I haven't done anything
know.
this week. I didn't do anything last week. And I'm struggling. We got a couple weeks left, and I want to bring this thing home.
I was telling you that those like first 3 weeks that we just we just put a nail in our coffin because it burned us out, and it was way too hard.
I had one relapse with Oreos, and it's been all downhill since then.
Dang. I will say another benefit outside of sprinting with a stroller. I went and got some lab work done just to check what my cholesterol is and stuff.
Oh, yes.
That was down. Yeah,
nice.
50 points. So
let's go, baby.
There's got to be some positive from it. Yeah.
So let's go.
That's good. Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
I have one small TD. It's very small. You viewers of the podcast may notice that I've been wearing glasses for the last few episodes. I normally wear contacts, just as a daily thing. I wear contacts. I wear glasses as a last resort. Well, I ran out of contacts, right? And it was a while before I could be seen by the optometrist. Also because my prescription had expired. So I finally was able to go yesterday. Finally get contacts back in my eyes. And I got a new kind of, it's a new type within the same brand that I typically use. And she said, my optometrist said, "Oh, here you go. Here's a sample pack." Right.
Yeah.
I got home. They're expired. And so I don't know. It's just kind of
supply chain, man.
Yeah, supply chain being what it is, right? And so I go over a month without contacts, and then I get the first 4 pairs I get are expired.
Oh, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, right.
Did you wear them?
Right? Yeah, I'm wearing them right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
I don't want eye cancer.
Well, expiration dates are just more guidelines. They're not, steadfast rules.
Yep.
It's like mayonnaise. Like mayonnaise, you can have 4 years expired and you can still use it.
Do you know from experience?
No.
4 years. I feel like.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
so anyways, that's a minor TD.
TD. Well, I think speaking of TDs, I think we should just jump into the film.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else.
I had a story, but I think I'll save it till next time because we've had I don't want to blow it here.
Yeah, don't blow it. We've already had so much. We already talked about ribs, so 2 weeks.
For the viewer, for the listeners, it's been several days since we did that intro. Or no.
2 days.
2 days. Okay. Yeah, it's been 2 days. So it's been basically an eternity from my memory.
Yeah.
Like short-term memory. So all right, let's jump into this bad boy.
Okay. So last week I recommended Wing Commander. Wing Commander was actually a game in the 90s. I think you played it. I played it. I think a lot of people probably played it growing up. That's in our generation. I know my brothers played it too. I think we have friends that have played it. And I guess it's kind of this blend of kind of like Air Force, but in space, fighting against a evil enemy with the what's their name? Totally blanking. Gilrathi.
Yeah.
And actually, the story of Wing Commander was actually inspired by a sci-fi novel by Larry Nivens called The Man-Kizzen War Stories. And it's about a future war that's between mankind and an aggressive alien race that's a feline-based enemy.
Gotta be cats.
Cats. Meow.
Cats in space.
Yeah. But they ended up making there was 5 Wing Commander games that they made. And the director of this film, Chris Roberts, he's the creator of Wing Commander. So
Whoa.
he was also the producer, the writer, the creative director of all the Wing Commander games in the
Okay.
franchise. And then this was his cinematic debut in Wing Commander, which he did not direct any more films after Wing Commander. But it was just kind of interesting. This film was filmed in Belgium for the most part for some of the like interior shots and stuff. But they actually did kind of the post production stuff all at Chris Roberts' studio that they made Wing Commander at. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
And let's see, budget was 30 million. The box office, or 30 million 1999, 53 million in 2022 numbers, 11 million box office, and 20 million in 2022 numbers. So it did not fare well.
Bummer.
It was up against some juggernauts. So this was one of 3 films they decided to release at the same time, or that was released with the theatrical, such a hard word to say, theatrical trailer for Star Wars Episode 1. So they said that a lot of people came and paid to watch this movie just to see the trailer, and a bunch of people left.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know.
Wow.
That's kind of a bummer, but
Yikes.
I guess. So.
Man, really paying to watch an ad? That sounds so antithetical to my entire being.
Well, now you can watch them on YouTube. So
yeah, but paying money to watch an ad, right? That's just so stupid.
That's true. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Yep. Whatever. Not a problem anymore. I was trying to see if there's anything else that's more interesting. I think that's kind of all the tidbits I had. But I did. The funny thing is, we did this 2 days ago, and I totally forgot to write a synopsis, and now I have a synopsis.
You forgot again?
So no, I got it. I got it this time.
Oh, okay.
I wrote it about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
So hopefully,
nice.
Hopefully this helps, and then we'll talk about more about the bill.
Okay.
Go from there. All right. In the future, pilgrims and meerkats will have an intergalactic battle for space supremacy. A young lieutenant named Blair and his kamikaze best mate, Maniac, are both called to save the human race from meerkats you see for 2 minutes. The cats steal your buddy's truck battery, which is an AI navcom unit with a hyperjump coordinates, all the hyperjump coordinates known to man. The hotshot pilots battle with the cat fighters and bend space-time with a couple keystrokes on a 10 key. They get the navcom back and blow up some cat apartments along the way.
Did you say cat apartments?
Yes.
That might be your best one, yeah, man. You should do. You should write these immediately before more often now. The thing is, you're painting it to be more ridiculous than it is. I mean, the cats are just really, really dumb, right? But
yeah,
I gotta say, I remember when you brought this up, hadn't thought of or seen this movie for probably 20 years, right? But these flashes came to my mind, just clear as day, of scenes from this movie, and I think I said at the last episode that this movie, I was very fond of this movie back in the day.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So I had no idea what to expect in terms of whether or not that was going to hold up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did. It was pretty good. It was, pretty decent movie here. Did you think so? Did it hold up for you?
I don't know. I kind of felt like it didn't give me a lot of substance, but it also gave me a lot of nostalgia. So I don't know. I'm kind of in between on it. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
Kind of where I've landed. I haven't even given it a score yet, so that's what I was waiting for us to talk about it today.
So
But
the substance thing is interesting, right? Because right off the bat, we're watching this after Logan's Run, right? Which had negative substance.
bro, that's true. Yep.
And now this comes in the first 40 minutes of it are pretty interesting substance, I would say. So here's what's going on. It's in the future. Humanity has colonized the galaxy or whatever, something like that. And there are these cat people out there, and there's a war going on. Well, at some point in the past, relative to when this movie is taking place, there was this group of humans called pilgrims that sought out the stars. They charted all of these wormholes and areas that human ships can jump to because they don't have faster than light travel or even light speed travel, but they can colonize and go around the galaxy based off of these wormhole, black hole things.
Well, yeah, and that's where I think that's where I'm kind of struggling on this, is that like that part of it was really interesting. But I think maybe it's just the enemy aspect of this. Just there wasn't much to that. I think that's my biggest complaint.
Oh, absolutely. I can still remember the trailers, right? And then the trailers, they didn't show the cat faces, right? But it was just these big enemies. And then I remember one scene of the trailer was like the enemy had this had his hand out and then like little claws came out, right?
Yeah.
It looked cool in the trailer, but then when you get to the movie, it's just a cat that it didn't have its own claws. It's a glove, right? That spikes came out of, but he was a cat, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, okay, we're jumping ahead a bit, but I got to talk about this now before I forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's one scene where humans board this cat ship, right? In an attempt to disable the ship, number one, get fuel, number two, and steal back their AI, right? Their map.
Truck battery. Yep.
Truck battery. And so it's a bunch of Marines, and then the main character, Blair, who is a pilot. And then the wing commander pilot is also on this away mission as a Marine for some reason.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to. That was a weird part that didn't really make a lot lot of sense, because they were like, Marines mount up, and then it was like, here comes the wing commander,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
and so they get on board this ship and they just spread out, right? Freddie Prinze Jr. goes completely alone into the stronghold of this cat ship, right? No backup, one gun, and he's just plowing through these cats, right?
Totally.
And then at some point he walks into a room and he gets ambushed by some cats or something, and then it's 2 or 3 cats are on him. He gets his gun dropped, or the cat bats it out of his hand, and he's dropped, and then he has no weapons and stuff, and then it's all of a sudden it's set up to be he has nowhere to go, he has no options, he's screwed, boy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he just kind of punches a cat, and then he has his gun back and shoots all of them. And right after the cat does the thing with his glove, the claws come out, and then that cat just gets shot.
I mean,
and then he just walks up and gets the AI, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if they had to just do battle like face to face with these cats, they would just mow them down. Because when they got on that ship, the cats were just like ping, 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 ping. They just got knocked out.
The cats are, I think, 9 feet tall too.
Yeah,
they're huge.
They're huge,
right?
Yeah,
and they're in these big suits of armor or something, and they just get plowed through by it's on their own ship. So that was a complete breakdown of what was expected based on the trailer and the moments before that scene too, right? Marines mount up, we're prepare for a heavy battle, and then all the cats just die. Freddie Prinze Jr. kills like 8 cats all by himself. He's a pilot, right?
He's just a pilot. It was a cool uniform, though. I mean,
cool, right?
Well, the thing that was, I mean, they did a pretty good job with set design, that kind of stuff. That looked pretty cool.
Okay, here's what always annoys me about this is set in 2665 or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it's 2165. Yep.
And so the vision of the future to this production team, director, whatever, is just like technology from the 50s or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
I don't understand why sci-fi movies do that. That they just can't imagine anything other than what is around.
Well, the hard part for me was these ships, the spaceships that they're on, are basically
Submarines, kind
submarines.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That, like, the way they work and everything, and
yeah.
it doesn't really,
It looks
it
like a
doesn't,
classic Navy submarine
yeah,
ship.
yeah,
I mean,
but it
and they
doesn't
treat it,
really,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense in space. Like, the reason submarines
yeah,
are the way they are is because they're heavily reinforced because of all the pressure that goes on them, and that's why you have to
yeah.
contain the different compartments and stuff. So it didn't,
Now, I will say they do have to be strong, right? They have to maintain pressure inward, right? Because if they aren't strong, the pressure of the atmosphere within the ship would explode a normal vessel. So it's kind of the opposite, right?
that's
The
fair.
pressure
Yeah.
differential underwater, I don't know, may not be the same. Well, like whatever depth they're at, there is a pretty big differential between one atmosphere and then just nothing, right?
Yeah.
So in that respect, it does make sense to have reinforced things. The shape doesn't make any difference, right? They don't have to
Yeah.
look like anything,
Right.
especially if they're going to stay in space.
Yeah, because they don't appear to be ships that land.
Yeah,
They're just only in
yeah.
space. Yep.
But it's just, and I get that, life on a spaceship is probably analogous to life on a naval ship or a submarine. Submarine, most definitely, right? Because you can't go outside.
Yeah.
But it's just, really, does it really just have to look like a ship from the 1900s?
Well, I mean, so the planes too. They were that same
Yeah,
thing. So a few things that were cool. The engine, or the guns on the front. So it looks like kind of like a barrel of a gun. So it
yeah,
kind of shoots out, kind of like firework, like if you had a ring of fireworks shooting
yeah,
around. So that was a cool aspect. But they looked like rusty kind of tin can things, and I guess I don't remember that in the game as
yeah.
much versus this movie, where they just
Full
look really run down.
full disclosure, I don't think I ever played the game.
Oh, okay, fine.
I have no basis of memory for, or basis of reference for what
Yeah.
how it looks in the movie.
Well, I mean, it was back in the 90s, so it's pretty pixelated, but I guess, I don't know. I was thinking that it would look
Similar
better,
shape,
but
at
maybe.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's okay. So the whole premise of the whole plot is centered around humans are, scattered around the galaxy in different sectors.
Mhm.
They can communicate to each other kind of with these probes that I guess go light speed or something like that.
Well, yeah,
But
they
the
have
ships,
drones. That's what they keep
yeah.
talking about. Mhm.
So the ships though have to navigate from one area of the galaxy to another based on these jump points, which they're never talked about, but they say things like, let's go into that quasar, let's go into that pulsar, which makes no sense because a pulsar is like a star, right? There's nothing to go into.
Right.
I guess you could go into it and then just burn up, right? There's no exit,
Yeah, that's a
perceived exit point, right? At least with a quasar, if it's associated with a black hole, then theoretically there might be some kind of exit, right? You're
well,
going to get
yeah. So
destroyed in the process, but
the the pulsar there's actually right at the end, the big ship, doesn't it actually go into the pulsar and blow up? So that's the only time that
yeah.
it actually
Okay, let's jump to that.
does.
Let's jump
Okay.
to that too,
We'll just
because
jump around because
okay,
you mentioned it.
so it's the very end. Freddie Prinze Jr. is on this last ditch. He's got to warn the humans that the cats are coming, right? The cats know how to get to Earth because of this AI, right?
Right.
And so the only person that can navigate that particular quasar is Freddie Prinze Jr. because he's the son of a pilgrim, and the pilgrims have this godlike ability to navigate interdimensional structures. Okay, following?
Mhm.
So the ship that he was a part of sent him on, get in your little fighter and go through and warn him. So he does, but the cats follow him through.
Yep.
And so now there's this giant cat ship.
Just a giant cat ship.
Cat ship, and it's just a giant frigate basically against
Yeah.
one little aircraft. And so Freddy relays his message, and then he pieces out. And his solution was to go towards a pulsar. I guess there's a pulsar around Earth. I didn't know that. Maybe
Yeah,
there
it's
is in
new.
2665,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
turns out not only is there a wormhole right next to Earth, or Venus, I think, actually, but also there's a pulsar nearby. Okay. So Freddy's mission or plan then is to go towards this pulsar because for some reason it is giving off radio frequencies that look a lot like Earth's ship's radio frequencies. The cats
Yep.
get fooled. The cats think that he's going towards the fleet, the human
Right.
fleet. And so, because where else is he going to go? He's all alone. And there's a cat ship behind him. He's going to go
Yep.
run for help, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so the cats say, "Follow him because that's where the fleet is. We can hear their radio pings." Okay, except for the fact that they're looking at a star the entire time, and
Yeah.
Freddy's just flying into this star, right? And the cats say, "There's the human ship, the human fleet's there." And so then Freddy says, "Oh, psych."
It's like, let me
Does
turn
this
around.
180 break, and the cats just fly into the star and blow up.
He's like, it's a trap.
It's a trap. So that was basically the ending, and then okay, and then
It was-
it was one. Okay, getting back to what the whole point of this movie is.
Yeah, sorry for derailing.
At the very beginning, there is this human ship just all chilling, right? A human naval submarine ship, right, out in space. It has this AI that has all the jump coordinates for the humans.
It was a base on like a
Oh yeah, it was a
asteroid.
base on an asteroid. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So at the very beginning of the movie, it's these two homies. They're just pulling night shift, and they're just looking at radar pings. Right.
Yep.
Everything's going fine, and then some guy, he sees a little ping. Oh, okay. What is this? And then it's 4 dots. Right. It's 4 little things on his radar, and then the next scene, it's a wide out pan, top down view in space above this asteroid base. And it's like 40 million little ships coming through, right? And they're just start bombing this asteroid.
Yeah.
So he saw 4 pings on the radar, and it's
Hold on.
40 million. Okay.
You're missing one key detail.
Okay.
So homie is drinking coffee,
Mm.
watching his screen.
Yeah.
He sees nothing on the screen, so he puts it down and he says, "You know what? I gotta take a poop. I had too much coffee. Gotta go." So he gets up, walks away. All of a sudden, the 4 pings come. He's not there to see it.
Okay.
Bombs start coming. Mini ships
Okay.
coming. Everything's
Gotcha.
getting wiped out.
Gotcha.
Then,
Now
yeah.
I would like to comment on that, saying, let's say he saw let's say he was there and saw the pings, right?
Yeah.
He would say there's 4 things coming.
Yeah.
And in reality, it was like 40 million.
Yeah, it was a ton of
So it was just fields and waves and waves and waves of these enemy ships. And then all of a sudden the cats are breaking down the door, right? And the major general marshal of the base is like, destroy the AI. We can't let it get
Destroy
into the
the
cat
AI.
hands. We can't let it get into the cat's paws, right? Destroy it. And then obviously
Hit the self-destruct.
self-destruct malfunctioned, right? And so
They
the
can't
general
get in.
marshal grabs an assault rifle and it's like it's designed, okay, ostensibly this shield area for the AI is
awesome.
designed
It's
to
so
keep people
funny.
out. Ostensibly
Right.
the cats, right, who have guns, and he's using a gun to try and get into the cat thing, and it's just not doing anything, right? It's
Right.
very effective at what they designed it to do.
So they
then
put the AI in there, and then they just sealed the whole thing. No other way to get into it in case something went
Can't
wrong.
Can't even do maintenance, right? Let's say that a janitor, like some kind of computer tech needs to get in there, can't get in. I don't know what to do. I guess we just got to blow it up and we'll find
Yeah,
something
you know
new to
what?
do.
This one's broken. Blow it up.
Blow it up. Okay, so
Yeah.
but the cats make it in, right? The cats make it in and get the thing and then destroy everything. And then, but Major Marshall
They probably did this. They
sends
probably
out
did
a,
this. Whoosh.
yeah.
It just started clawing the glass. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then Major Marshall sends out a probe saying, "Bruh, they took the computer, right?
They got it, man.
We're toast." And so then Admiral Big Shot gets the probe, and it's like, crap. They know where Earth is now, right? Because that Navcom
Yep,
that they
exactly.
stole had the whole map for where humans have been and where they came from, right?
Yep,
And so
right.
they've been, humans and these cats have been at war for ages, right? Or for some period of time, I don't know.
Yep.
And I guess the last battle is going to happen at Earth for some reason.
Yeah.
So, okay. The whole point then is there's not enough time for the current admiral person to get to the nearest jump point to get to Earth. But the cats can get there in like 4 hours earlier, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like
so,
38 hours to 42 hours or something.
Something like that.
The time. Yeah.
So here's what happens. Major Admiral says, any ships in the area? And then there just happens to be a ship with this top secret spy Commodore thing, and then these, two pilots. And he's like, we got this Lone Ranger out here. And he goes, give him the most secure detail, or give him the most secure security clearance of anybody, and tell him that, we're doomed unless he can get this information to this other captain who's closer, who can then get to Earth faster or something. The whole point was to, I guess, warn Earth. So
get
it's
to Earth
like,
first.
Yeah, to get to from A to C, you got to go through B and D. That's quicker or something. And so Freddie Prinze gets the message, and he happens to be the son of a friend of a Major Marshal General, but his mom was a pilgrim. And as we said before, pilgrims were this predecessor human branch that took to the stars and evolved.
The impression is that they were savants, essentially. They
became
spacefaring savants. Yeah.
Yep. And then and this is what part of why the movie was so interesting for a period of time, right? Because what kind of became as a mentor of sorts for Freddie Prinze Jr., who his whole life has felt like an outcast because his mom was a pilgrim. And there was there was a war between the humans and the pilgrims, because the pilgrims felt like they had evolved past humanity and thought humanity was somehow less than them because of their newfound genius, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or something like that. I guess the pilgrims lost. I don't know how good could they have been, right? Because it seems like they lost.
Yeah, there's no real detail on it, and one of those notes that I did check. So, concept of the pilgrims, it's kind of this breed of humans that possess this natural ability to space navigation. It was created for the film, but it had not previously been mentioned anywhere in the Wing Commander franchise. So I think that was an added element that they put into it, which is actually was cool.
It was
because
cool.
then you actually get to see it in practice with Blair.
Yeah. And I found, like, from a writing perspective, and how they navigated it a few times within the movie with conflict between Blair and some of the other people, there was just enough information to be interesting, or to be satisfying, but not enough information to there was just enough intrigue, right, to keep it going. And I really felt like any other movie that they would have tried to make, like, a direct to DVD kind of offshoot movie where they like try and go into the lore of the pilgrims and stuff, would have just been overdone, right? Because the
Right.
point is you don't really know. You know that there were these people out there, there was a war, and that was good enough, right?
Yeah.
To make it
Yeah.
not distracting, but enough of an interest piece for this
Well,
character,
I think,
right?
yeah, I think probably the reason that was kind of added was there wasn't, I don't think they had enough like internal conflict. So they needed something that would make
Yeah.
it this, hotshot pilots coming in. Like, what makes it that people don't feel like they can trust this guy, even though he's apparently very good at what he does, but like they have to
Yeah.
have some suspicion behind like, why is he good outside of just the conflict between humans and cats. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
And so it's interesting when he has these interpersonal conflicts, Blair and basically everyone else, because he's the son of a pilgrim, but
Right.
has this genius capabilities of navigating these wormhole things, whereas his buddy, who is this loudmouth show off, right, played by Matthew Lillard, he just annoying, right, but funny, and he actively does crazy crap all the time, and gets another pilot killed just straight up.
Puts
It
everyone
was
at
his
risk.
fault. Puts everyone at risk.
Yeah.
Completely at fault for getting his girlfriend killed, right?
Yeah.
And then he crash lands, and then the girlfriend crashes and I guess died. Which, okay, did it strike you as odd? So there's this scene where they're killing cats out in space, right? And they're this maniac guy, and then this person that he's trying to impress all the time, another pilot, Rosie. They're trying to one up each other every time. And so the last time that they did that, he was all right, watch me do this. And then he basically just was kind of kamikaze into a cat ship and then shoot them at the last minute and have it blow up and then just fly through the explosion, right?
Yeah.
Well, she flew too close to him while he was doing that. He blew up the ship, and then that crashed into her. And then she, her ship kind of blew up, but not enough to where she could limp home, right?
Yeah, she was
home
like
being just their submarine
power
out in space,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so, did it strike you as odd as that? Okay, they both crash on this flight deck, right, out in space. He makes it into the energy barrier where there's atmosphere, and she's just kind of out in space,
right?
Okay.
Ship seems to be together, though. Might I add?
Yeah,
like it's not like it's in pieces, but it's
Here's
broken.
The weird thing. They use a remote control little digger thing.
They used like a Rockenbach front loader.
Rockenbach, yeah. Like a bulldozer thing.
Yeah,
right?
bulldozer. Yeah.
To get it off the flight deck.
Yeah.
Why not just push it into the?
That's what I was. That's
hole,
one of my notes. I was like, why not just push it into the thing just to see if they're alive?
See if she's alive, or salvage the parts at least, right?
Yeah. Let's just kick this thing over the edge.
Spacecraft. Because she didn't respond, right? Maybe she's unconscious. Maybe her radio doesn't work.
Yeah,
maybe
her comms got knocked out when she crashed. Who knows?
Yeah. They just gave
take
up,
the ammo.
Right?
Just take the ammo from the thing. At least you would keep to recoup that.
They had a bulldozer that came out of the hold of the ship where they're all standing. So it left that, push it out, and then came back.
Yeah.
Just okay. So anyways, so the point being that this other pilot caused this wreck.
Yeah.
And then just was like, all right, suit up again, because you're back out there on flight duty. So the guy that's actively causing problems, there's no conflict with him. But Blair, who's a pilgrim, had conflict with everyone because they didn't trust him.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the whole point is that they have to warn the Earth fleet that the cats are coming and that they know where Earth is.
Yeah. Well, right? So Maniac, one of the first scenes where Maniac is in is they are on this trajectory to slingshot around I think it's a star, right? So they can get across faster. So they're slingshotting. And Maniac decides, you know what? We're not going fast enough. I'm just going to turn the speed up a little bit. So we'll go right into the star instead of going slingshotting around it. And that's the first time where you see Blair like use his, sixth sense of like, how do we get through this versus flying around it? We're going to have to go through it and jump through. And that's where the 10 key comes in, where he's just like typing in stuff. And then they just fly right through. And it's like, you just encoded this in 10 seconds. Like how, like you shouldn't be able to do that. So that's when you learn a little more about the Pilgrim backstory. And so
his
Matthew,
the captain. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the captain, I think, kind of was wondering maybe if he could do that because the Commodore knows all this Pilgrim stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was the one that's, like Spenny said, you just, hacked the system or whatever, and 6.1 gigawatts or whatever, and his friend, right? When has this ever been done by a human, right? Because it takes a computer to do this. The friend, Maniac, his response was, "Cool,"
Yeah. Cool. He's the second best pilot in the flight class. So cool. Yeah. So Matthew Lillard in this thing, is he not Jake Busey from Starship Troopers? Like that same kind of character?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just thought that was funny. Anyways. Let's see.
Okay.
There's a few. So when they get on, after they have the message and they're trying to get to the Tiger Claw, I think is the name of the ship. They're on the, what are they? No, it doesn't matter. They have a mini disc with all the codes on it. They're trying to get to the Tiger Claw ship. But then there's some funny commentary, or like they're having this back and forth conversations. And Blair is talking to the wing commander, I think, and she's talking about a Karathi gangbang. I just thought that was a funny line. I wasn't expecting to hear that in a film. And then Rosie and Maniac are having this banter back and forth. And Rosie says, "You got balls." And he says, "You should see them." And she says, "Mine are bigger." And then he says, "I thought size didn't matter." And so I thought there's just some funny little banter back and forth from those two silly kids. Please add that dumb drum. Please add that right there. But that was right before one of the things that you mentioned, I think, in the last episode of talking about they never existed. And that queued up for what the premise behind that. Because Blair was at a plane, one of the ships for someone, and he got out and he got in trouble because he was acting cocky to the wing commander. And then he was asking about, sorry for that guy, like what happened to him or something. And everyone gets really solemn and like kind of frustrated, and they're like, just stop talking about it. And they're like, he never existed. And that was the thing, that when people get killed or die, like they never existed. We don't talk about them anymore after they die.
Yeah. What I found odd about that initial interaction is because there was this, big, they're going to get in a fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Blair said,
okay, so you were talking about,
right. Yeah. So I was, okay. Two things. It doesn't make any sense to me why Blair gets all defensive about Bombardier or whatever his name was having existed or not. He's like, no, he definitely existed. Like he knows.
Jen.
Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if he died out in this space battle, then why is there a ship? Why is his plane, his spacecraft in the hangar? Right? Did he have a heart attack out there or something, and he just flew back on autopilot? Why did they salvage that ship? How did they salvage that ship and then just ditch the ship with Rosie in it? That was on the ship, right?
That is such a good point. That is such a good point.
So anyways, it's just, I don't know, small things like that that just just don't add up. He has no reason to get defensive about that one guy having existed or not.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. One other thing that was just, I don't know if I thought this was really interesting. So there's a lot of distrust between the guys that came from the ship with the encrypted information from the Supreme Super General.
Yeah.
And the captain of the ship doesn't trust these guys with the encryption. He's like, how do I know this is not a setup or something?
Yeah.
And the commandeer guy just throws a ring to the captain and is like, this is the admiral's ring. He trusts me. So just know, I have his ring. So here you go. And the captain knows all the story behind this ring. And it's 16 generations people have had this ring. And then the commandeer just happens to have it. And he just throws it over to him.
I mean, yeah. It's kind of cool, right, that this mysterious guy would have some kind of object like that and just ping,
right,
shoots a ring at him, right, shoots a ring at his face.
Here you go, buddy.
But I can't think of an easier thing to fabricate, right? Or there's no credentials. Anybody can make a ring, right, and make it look old.
Yeah, have you ever been to Disney and they make pirate coins? It's pretty easy to falsify.
Yeah. So and then what the plan is that he has a ring that he can use once, right? Because the captain kept it and put it on his finger, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
he wore it.
Yeah. So the Commodore doesn't have that get out of jail free card anymore. He gets to use it once, and it just expects whatever captain he shows it to know. So every captain, there's the Admiralty, and then part of being a captain then is just to study that one admiral's family lore and understand the ring, right? Can't be a captain unless you know this history.
So another question I had is, so this guy, that Commodore, whatever we want to call him, he is flying this I don't know, bomber ship.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like, this is my call sign, these are my codes, type it in, you know who I am. Why didn't he just do that with the captain? Why was it secret?
I know.
Why did it matter? Because then she's like, oh wow, this guy's a big deal, he has full authority. If he would have done that with the captain would have been like, oh crap, yeah, whatever you say, man.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Because the Commodore knows that leaving to go on this bombing run is a bad idea, right? Says it's a bad idea. Then goes on it, and then says, oh, by the way, I'm a Commodore. We should turn back because they're getting nuked right now. Turns out they were. And so that could have all just been avoided. He said, yo, you know what? Trust me. I know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
And
this was this part where they're on this mission. So there's the part where there's these two flyers in front of the ship, and they go, security check, Alpha, nothing to report in this quadrant. Wait a minute. What? Boom. They get blown up. Because all the cat ships just start blowing them up. But it was so funny.
I forgot about that.
Security check, Alpha, nothing to report in this quadrant. Wait a minute. What? Boom. Just get blown up. It was so awesome.
Wait, what part was that? I'm kind of
so it was
now,
they were like yeah, I'll see if I can find a clip and I'll add it to the thing because it's pretty funny. But the entire fleet is on this mission except for two fighters and the main ship. And so they're flying around the ship to add, checking the quadrants.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Annihilated.
Yeah. Well, it's like the guy that with the radar at the beginning, he sees 4 dots or something, or there's 4 dots, and then there's just 1,000 times that many.
The tech looked like it was from the 80s. It's nothing advanced, digitally. So
okay, Spenny, we gotta gonna bring this home with what is
Let's wrap it up.
We've outlined the whole point, which is the cats are coming. Okay, we know the cats are coming, and we got to warn Earth. Okay.
Yep.
We got to go through all these, different points on the map to get back to Earth because it's too slow for us. We got to go basically this because it's too slow to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. If you're watching.
Yep. Close enough.
Okay. If I understood any part about this movie in terms of there's jump points, there's known jump points. And if you have the AI Navcom, you know where those jump points are. So you just go into them and you come out the other side. Okay. If there's a single jump point to Earth, right? And they know where the exit is. It's out by Venus.
Yes.
Then how is it a surprise at all then where the cats are going to come from? If the cats have one route to get to Earth and they know where that exit point is, then why the big mystery?
Right.
Just point the guns there. Well, turns out that's what they did because Freddie Prinze came in and said, yo, the cats are coming and they're coming right here. Well, duh. Right? So
such a good point.
And by that point in time, they knew that the cats were coming. Right? Because the fleet was there. So what are we doing here?
I don't know what the point of Freddie Prinze was if the whole fleet was already there. So they were just waiting for the cats to come through and blow up.
And not only were they there, they were waiting. They said they saw Prince come in with a lone cat ship behind him, and they just said, well, we're not going to play our hand yet. Rather than just blow up that cat ship, they're going to let Freddie Prinze fool it by going into a star, and then sure enough the rest of the cats come in that exact same spot.
Yep.
So I don't know what the point of this movie was.
Well, so the thing that's also adding to the confusion is like they were giving the coordinates as they were chasing Freddy. Of like, everyone come here. Yeah. Like, this is where you make the jump.
Yeah.
And then they got destroyed, but they didn't have time to tell anyone that not to come. I don't know. It was...
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of... The beginning of this movie was so decent and so... I'll say
well,
good.
I know. That's why...
Right?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah. So that was the big thing is like building up to the story that was good. But once we got actually to the fighting the cats, like what?
The cats looked so dumb. The claw thing was so cool in the trailer, as a kid anyways. Yeah. And then it was, he just gets shot immediately. The thing with the cross, the Freddie Prinze wearing the cross, and it's this little dagger envelope opener thing, right? That's cool.
Thing was sweet.
Right?
I thought
and then,
another Ankh.
Another Ankh
Shout
thing.
out Ankh.
Yeah. This one is a letter opener. And
apparently I thought he was going to kill somebody with it. I thought that like he's going to stab a cat or something. Right. It was just this giant chain around his neck and felt like the burden of his childhood around his neck.
Yep.
Being a pilgrim.
So,
but then
I don't know.
That's kind of it, man. I don't.
It really.
Then you find out Paladapis or whatever his name is a pilgrim too.
He's a pilgrim.
Yeah.
Commodore Paladin. It really, talking through this, it really does. It's now obvious that the person who wrote this movie wrote video games, right? Because this is very much a video game narrative where an impossible mission for no purpose, and then just kind of guns blazing against all odds kind of mission.
Yeah, but who was the end bad guy? I mean, what was the grand ending? Like, what was the...
Well, it sounds like all the cats pinnacle? Died, right? The final boss was like, just...
I thought... Yeah. I guess I was anticipating that for some reason I was thinking there was more of a battle I mean, there was one battle where they did the
Yeah.
classic submarine getting next to each other and just firing your torpedoes at each other. But
Okay. Yeah, this is
they're
when the
literally
Commodore
torpedoes.
takes over, right? And then these torpedoes are nukes, right? And
Yeah.
so, okay, it's like Benny said, classic Commander wing. What was that Navy movie with the old wooden ships? Commander and Commander.
Yeah, Master and Commander.
Master and
I
Commander.
heard it was
Yeah.
one of the best Star Trek films
right.
ever made.
So it's just, classic, like, we're gonna have two ships and we're gonna run by each other and cannon.
Yeah.
Fire the cannons, right?
Yeah.
And so
Drop your shields.
but this, okay.
Fire.
Commodore says, wait, hold, hold,
Hold the line.
hold the line. And so, and by the way, he says, all right, hold. Okay. Which means don't shoot. Okay.
Yes.
And then he says, load the cannons and shoot. So why couldn't they just have the guns loaded, right, with the nukes? He waits for them to be in the right position and then says, load the nukes.
Yeah.
And then fire. But okay, so they're strafing, right? So the cats are, blowing their wad too early, right? And then they just start shooting. But then the Commodore says, no, lower the shields. No, trust me, lower the shields. This is going to confuse them. So they lower the shields. You see it in the animation, like, right? And then the cats just shoot them like 50 more times, right? With their shields down. And then they launch a bunch of nukes 3 feet away from them. The cat ship blows up, but then they're fine.
Yeah.
So, okay, they were getting damaged while the cats were shooting them with shields up, right? He tells them to lower their shield. The cats continue to shoot them point blank, but then the cats die with their shields up when they shoot their bombs. I don't.
It was shield piercing nukes, don't you know?
So just shoot those normally, right?
The other thing that was, this is the last thing. This is the last thing I was saying. We'll wrap it up. The ships have a big giant opening at the top, and then they close it when they go to battle. My question is, why not just keep those closed all the time in case of battle, and then just open it when you need to send ships or planes out?
Don't know, man. It's like, why bulldoze a completely fine ship off the deck because they didn't respond for 5 seconds, right?
That's fair enough. All right.
Okay, I gotta say, I came in tonight thinking, maybe I'll give this a 6 or 7. I'm thinking now, like, my score, this is a 3.1, to be frank.
That's what I had.
3.1?
That's what I was going to go with, the 3.1.
Let's go.
When you were talking about how high you were on those, I was like, I don't think we watched the same movie, man.
Yeah.
I was surprised by your enthusiasm. So.
I really enjoyed the first half of this.
Yeah,
because it was all about, just the mystery and what humanity may have looked like in this
pilgrim mystery.
Is sufficiently engaged my interest. And then it was, we got to tell Earth when the cats are coming, and even though there's only one doorway to Earth, right? And then the cats are all just insanity what these cats look like.
I can't get over the fact that I have this vivid memory of the cats, and you see the cats for 2 minutes.
Yeah, right.
It's just snippets. Of these random cats speaking feline language, and they just get annihilated. So
the feline language was just right.
Yeah.
And then the cats had glyphs too, right? That is so stupid to me when sci-fi people think they're being cool when they have captions in a different made-up language that then translates to English in real time. It's so stupid. Who is that for? Right? Make the cats look better, maybe, rather than trying to invent characters, right?
Well, yeah, make it so their faces move. It looked like they just put helmets on that just
Yeah,
had
it was
mouths
just
that moved.
plastic. It was just
Yeah, that was it.
plastic cat faces, and then an alien 9-foot tall cat with claws that were just claws that came out of a glove. That's stupidity. That is the definition of stupidity.
Definition
They're
of
not real
stupidity.
claws. They just came out of a glove.
I mean, yeah. It's like Spider-Man not having webs shoot out of his wrists. It's just little cartridges. It's not a real spider. Come on now. Well,
All right.
this is the Ascension to 10 podcast. We did give our 11-point scores of 3.1, both of us. So I think glad we were in lockstep. I was hoping you would come down because I was going to be like, man, we didn't watch the same movie, and I'd have to dunk on you for having such a stupid score and all this other BS. But nope, we synced our swords, so that's good.
Put our swords in the stone, right? We touched our tips and came out with a score.
All right. All right, Jad. What are we?
Full disclosure, I
next?
forgot to think of a movie.
Oh, great.
I literally have nothing planned. Okay. Oh, I just thought of one. Morbius. Morpheus. That's
Morbius. Yeah,
Morbius.
I think it's Morbius.
All
that
right.
sounds right. Sweet. Can't wait.
So that's I came prepared.
Do you know a little? Did you hear the funny thing about this film?
I remember it was just getting clowned on, right?
It got
huge meme, right?
It got released, and it just totally tanked. And then a bunch of people were trolling it, saying, "Oh yeah, no, please bring it back," because we just didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, and they brought it back, and it just completely tanked again. So then they were trying to get it to go a third time, like, no, we totally forgot this time, but this time for real, we're gonna watch it.
That's
but
amazing.
No, it got so. Yeah, this one has Jared Leto in it, so something about a vampire. I don't know.
I gotta say, Jared Leto is such a creep. I mean, he's a legitimate cult leader. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, he's like legitimate. He has a cult, and that people are just fine with that.
Oh, interesting.
Also, he just looks creepy and everything. And all right, so
he's always starving himself and stuff. That's why.
Something about All right. Well, it'll be good to clown on that one.
All right.
Was that
as
Marvel?
Always? It might be. This actually might be the first Marvel we've done, which I've been trying to avoid it, but this one sounds like it was right up our alley. So.
Yeah, this one must be good.
This is the Ascension to 10 podcast. If you have any recommendations, anything you want to clarify, correct us on, if you have any input on the buzz, please email us at boys@ascensionto10.com.
Take Spenny's poll when he gets that up. I guess we'll have.
Yep.
You'll have to remember to do that poll after this episode releases.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I will.
All right.
And I'll just probably clip it from the actual episode to a week. Also, if you want to follow us on our socials, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can find us on YouTube with Ascension to 10 Podcast. Our introductory song or our intro song is by Companyon. Our buddy Bryan does that. We have some links to his music. He has some new songs out for this summer. And if there's anything else, holler at us. He's Jad. I'm Spenny.
Bye.
Bye.
Ascension to 10.